Cade Townsend was selected 23rd overall by the Cubs in the first round of the 2026 draft a couple weeks ago, which Jim and I were covering. You see him there with that little changeup grip he's got. 6'1" and 185, really fun slot and pitch package and everything he does as a player. They got him for a bit under slide as well. There's a lot of those interesting college arms went late in the first round. So let's take a listen to me. I'm gonna hop over to the curve here and take a look at Cade Townsend in more detail. Lance's lens on the first round pick of the Chicago Cubs in the most recent draft. They went pitching. They took 11 pitchers in their first 13 picks, and it was headlined by Cade Townsend from Ole Miss. Really interesting pitcher. I'm going to dig into some of the shapes he throws, but before we get to that, the foundation he lays with strikes. He threw over 65% strikes to either handedness of hitters, so lefties and righties. Creates a really nice starting pitcher foundation that I think the Cubs really coveted, and they got him a bit under slot. But it's what he does with the ball that's more interesting to me. There's a couple things I'm going to point out here. First, fastball sits 95.7, really strong in that department. I think a lot of people watching him would think he's maybe a little undersized and it's low velo. No, the Cubs have historically preferred those low velo guys, but in this case, they go with a guy who throws really hard. That 19 inches of vertical break is really strong too. The average is around, let's say, about 17 inches for a guy with his slot. So he's able to carry the ball a bit. Maybe that contracts a bit with the major league ball, which is a bit different than the college ball. The curveball in the middle there, I think maybe one of the feature pitches in this package. 83 miles per hour. It has a ton of drop for that velocity. The average drop on a curve is right around 10 inches. Then you go to the cutter, a bit more of a standard shape here. This is the pitch that generated a ton of whiff, a ton of glove side miss, a ton of everything. You were a hitter, you did not have a fun time trying to hit that cutter at 89 miles per hour. A little bit of glove side there, not as much as you would say a sweeper. Those are kind of the three pitches. He also flashed some sweepers as well. So let's take a look at exactly how these looked when he was throwing them. This is him at Ole Miss. Here's the fastball, a bit of that cut ride up in the zone. Really fun weapon. Again, smaller guy, lower frame. He gets kind of fired up right here at the end. I love the motion he pitches with. Really nice kind of behind home angle on that four-seam fastball. This is probably the best pitch from a metric standpoint in his arsenal. Let's say the most unique. Maybe that sweeper he throws is even better. But this is that massive downward breaking ball. Really hard to, usually when you're able to push velo on those shapes, you could use it as a strike stealer and a two-strike weapon. And this is the cutter I was talking about that has a ton of miss off the outer third of the plate. Here's a little behind home view on it. Just a little bit of that glove side action off the cut four seam is really hard for hitters to pick up. He's a really fun pitcher. I like projecting him as a starting pitcher. I think the pitch package is going to be very large. I know Jim Callis likes this pick as well. So congrats to Cade Townsend for being selected by the Cubs. I think they got a good one here. Jim, what do you think? I was kind of alluding to you there.
Yeah, no, I do like that pick a lot. I was not only happy. I think the Cubs had a really interesting draft, but I was happy for you. I texted you in the middle of day 2 about all the pitching draft. I think they literally took all pitchers from round 3 through round 12, as well as the first rounders. So in past years, where you were kind of heartbroken, like the year before, they took
Dominic
Reed, and that was it.
Yeah.
You were like thinking they can get. Well, yeah, but Wing was a little bit later. On day 1, it was just one pitcher.
That's a great point.
And you were hoping for more. This was your kind of draft.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's cool. I'm still kind of like digesting all the names. A lot of them tend to have really nice spin capacity. It's something the Cubs are leaning into. Chase Meyer is an interesting one. They drafted a guy named Lance, who's obviously my #1 prospect in baseball now. Yeah. Lance Williams, obviously sarcastic there, but again, it's good to have a namesake in the org.
So on Lance's new top
Isaac
30,
Morton
it's
is
Lance
actually
Williams, actually.
Isaac Morton is a Tommy John guy in Minnesota, but he's one that I know internally they're very excited about. Jim, so you're in your laptop right now actually probably has the draftee slotted in, but this has not been released to the public yet. You're getting there.
Well, and also, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, things might happen at the deadline. So again, Pipeline does a massive update post-deadline. Jim did a soft update where he restructured the top 10. We were just talking about it, but we want to have a slight convo on where some of these draft names would slot into your list. So why don't we start with Townsend? Give us an idea of, you don't have to tell us exactly where unless you have it placed, but where do you think he's going to slot in?
So to me, the debate is, I don't know if they can pop the top 10 up there. The debate is Ethan Conrad, who I have at number 4, who was first round pick last year, picked at 16 and has barely played, and then Cade Townsend at number 5. I would probably lean hitter over pitcher for now. So I would probably put Cade Townsend in there at 5. And then I know they got all these pitchers, but after they took Cade Townsend, they took 2 hitters who I do like. Caden Sorrell, Texas A&M outfielder. He's toolsy. There's some swing and miss. Miles Bailey, first baseman for Florida State, he broke his ankle on the slide, but he had the best raw power in the draft. I mean, this is like 90 power. He crushes balls. He slugged like .913 with 13 homers, 21 games before he got hurt.
Like 90 power. Never heard
that. Their slug started with a 9. I was like, whoa.
But anyway, to me, I would put Caden Sorrell behind Jackson Wiggins, and I would put Miles Bailey behind Caleb Wing. And so both those guys would fit in the top 10 for me.
Wow.